Boom. You are not going to believe what just dropped, guys. Kash Patel, Trump's FBI director, just torched the deep state in a way that we've never seen before. 4 years of secrets buried inside the FBI, hidden video footage, mysterious disappearances, and a total media blackout on one of the most suspicious events from January 6th. Wow, this is all coming out, and the names that are behind the cover-up are finally being exposed. And this is only half of the story. At the exact same time, you got President Trump's Treasury chief just unleashed a major global economic shockwave, an ultimatum that is so powerful that it's actually forcing countries like China, the UK, and even India to the negotiating table. The world thought that Trump was bluffing. Think again. The Liberation Day tariffs are back on the clock and the countdown has already started. So over the next couple of minutes, there's a few things that I wanted to share with you guys. I wanted to make this a quick video. We need to talk about the pipe bomber case the FBI sat on for 4 freaking years and who may finally be held accountable, guys. Man, the real reason Trump is threatening tariffs again and why this could save America's economy from collapse. Of course, we need to talk about the files that Kash Patel says are being released. Epstein, Crossfire Hurricane, even assassination plots. Guys, this is the video they do not want you to see. So if you can't watch the whole video right now, save this to watch later. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. But stay with me, guys, because what's going to be coming up next, this is going to change how you see the last 4 years, and it's actually going to get you prepared for what's coming in the next 90 days to forever. Okay, so all right. Over the last 4 years, FBI told the American people that they had no new leads in the January 6th pipe bomber case. You remember that story, right? Pipe bombs were planted outside both the DNC and the RNC on the night before January 6th. And yet somehow, despite hundreds of millions in surveillance, the most powerful intel agencies in the world, and nonstop media coverage of J6, somehow the pipe bomber story vanished. Did y'all notice that? Just yes or no on that one, guys. The FBI's official narrative, we don't know who it is. We have no info. Move along. Really? What didn't they tell you? Well, what they didn't tell you is that evidence was being locked away inside the Hoover building in a room where no one was allowed to look. Not Congress, not oversight committees, nobody. So here's the kicker, guys. The Secret Service and Capitol Police were tipped off to the bombs by an unknown man in a black hoodie. They didn't question him. They didn't ask for his name. They just said, hey, they just let him disappear. Almost like they already knew who he was. But then came the breakthrough. Now, if you guys appreciate the daily news updates, take a second and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate you guys' support. Congressman Thomas Massie somehow got a hold of that hidden footage. And he didn't just watch it. He released it to the public. And what it shows is absolutely insane, guys. You see Capitol Police and the Secret Service discovering the bomb, but reacting like they were told to ignore the guy who tipped them off. And then you got Deputy AG Ed Martin confirming it. The Biden DOJ sat on the case for years, did nothing. But now the case is officially active again. According to Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, we've got hot suspects. We're running phones. We're questioning people. The evidence is pouring in. Wow, guys, that's right. After being buried for 4 years, this case is back from the dead and it's moving fast. So let me just go ahead and say this. What's concerning or what's really coming next in the investigation could be career ending for some very big names. And let me know if you want to see some heads rolling. But this is actually only the beginning. I want to talk about who's now running the FBI and DOJ and why this new leadership team is doing what nobody dared to do for years. They're unsealing the deep state vault. But even more explosive, Trump's Treasury chief just issued a 90-day warning to the world. Liberation Day tariffs are coming back and global markets are scrambling. Now, if you're ready, hit the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, guys. Now, sometimes the best advice doesn't come from a brochure. It actually comes from someone who's already gone through it. Thanks, Ron. We appreciate your information. I have a new plan which saves me $1,000 a year. Now, I wanted to share this comment with you from a previous YouTube video because, why not? This is awesome. They're saving $1,000 a year. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you call Chapter. They don't guess. They check every Medicare plan available for you. They make sure that your doctors are covered, and they help you find hidden benefits that most people never even hear about. And so now, this person saving $1,000 a year just by making a single phone call or reaching out to askchapter.org on their website. That's amazing. Like, who would want to save $1,000 a year, right? Anyway, I'll make it really simple and easy for you. I've left the link down below, askchapter.org/Ron, or you can call them up on the phone if you prefer. Their phone number is 909-563-8279, and it's totally free. There's no pressure. There's no sales pitch, just real savings. So give our friends over at Chapter a call. Tell them Ron says hello, and ask them how much they can save you on your Medicare. Now, for the first time in years, the top levels of federal law enforcement have been shaken to the freaking core. Guys, Kash Patel, he's now leading the FBI. Got Dan Bongino, former Secret Service agent, and his deputy. Tulsi Gabbard is serving as Director of National Intelligence, and Ed Martin, he's the man who called out the 4-year DOJ cover-up. Well, he's now running the Justice Department's weaponization unit. And so what are they doing, right? Well, they're going after everything the deep state thought that they had buried for good. You're talking about hidden January 6th evidence. We're talking about buried footage, forgotten phone records, even physical evidence that was stashed in what Kash called the deepest, darkest corners of the Hoover building. And they're not stopping there. Patel made it clear, everything is changing now. Nothing we're doing is by accident. So this is easily the most aggressive transparency push in modern history, guys. But why does this matter now? Because just as the truth begins to spill out of Washington, President Trump isn't just playing defense. He's going on offense. Scott Bessent, Trump's Treasury chief, he just made it very clear. You got 90 days. If you don't want to deal, the April 2nd tariffs are coming back full force. I don't think that's a threat. I think that's a warning. They're talking Liberation Day tariffs, guys. The same ones that sent shockwaves through global markets just weeks ago. And now, Trump's giving countries like China, the UK, and the EU one final chance. Either make a deal or pay the price. And guess what? It's already working. India and Vietnam have already offered zero tariffs. UK and China, they're finally coming to the table. Why? I think it's pretty clear. Because they know Trump means it. This is not a bluff. This is a global realignment, and Trump is doing it without firing a single shot. I love it. And make no mistake, this is not just about trade. We need to look at how Wall Street is reacting. Why this 10% permanent tariff might actually become the foundation of America's economic engine, and how this all ties to a national security, energy, and America first strategy, guys. So how did the markets take Trump's tariffs ultimatum? Well, you would think that Wall Street would panic, right? Well, here's the wild part. Since Liberation Day on April 2nd, the S&P 500 has rebounded 290 points. That's not just recovery. That's a flex. Why? Because you got investors. Investors are starting to understand the pattern. This is not chaos. It's calculated leverage. The threat of tariffs is real, but it's also predictable under Trump's America First strategy. So, as one analyst put it, Trump's not bluffing. He's also not crashing the economy. He's setting the rules. That's why even mainstream outlets are now asking, is this a trade war or a power move? Because let's be clear, guys, when Scott Bessent speaks, the world listens. And when Trump says you got 90 days, he means exactly that. And speaking of serious leverage, Trump doesn't just see tariffs as a negotiating stick. He sees it as a permanent revenue source for the U.S. economy. This is why insiders are saying a 10% baseline tariff is non-negotiable going forward. Think of it like a cover charge when you want access to the American market, right? You pay up. If you go to a nightclub, there's probably a cover charge. Everyone accepts it. That's just the way it is. You're not going to shop in Costco without paying the cover charge. And that's pretty much what they're doing here in America. And as Dagan McDowell put it, the U.S. is a terrific customer. And now we're just charging admission. So here's the truth no one in Congress wants to admit. America needs the revenue, right? With rising deficits, debt pressure, and even talk of Moody's downgrade, Trump's tariffs are actually becoming a fiscal anchor. This is a way to stabilize the budget without raising income taxes. It's bold, it is simple, and it's driving the global elite insane. But that's not all, guys. We need to dig into the next level of President Trump's economic strategy, regional trade deals, a massive domestic tax overhaul, and more importantly, how this all ties to national security. Here's where things get a little bit more interesting, right? So Trump's team already knows that cutting individual deals with 90 countries isn't realistic, right? So what are they doing instead? Well, they're regionalizing. So this means that they're lumping countries together. Africa's not a country, it's a continent, but they're lumping Africa with Central America, parts of Asia, and they're negotiating block-level trade agreements. Now, on paper, it sounds efficient, but there's a catch, and the Trump administration knows it. They can't treat El Salvador the same way that you treat Nicaragua. You can't give trade privileges to allies and enemies alike, right? So Trump's new trade doctrine, it's built on distinction. If you're a strategic partner, you get benefits. Kind of like being maybe a Kroger Plus shopper, right? You know, if you're a member, you get the yellow price tag price versus the higher price tag price that's in white, right? If you're aligned with adversaries or exporting instability, you get tariffs or worse. Maybe you get cut off. But it's bold, it's targeted, and it's already changing the way regions approach America. And while this strategy plays out on the world stage, right here at home, Trump's making some big moves. In fact, the tariffs, they're just one piece of a much bigger plan. Now, what's coming up next? It's a full-scale pro-growth package designed to do what Biden's economy never could. Massive tax cuts for working-class Americans, small businesses, deregulation to unleash American innovation, a pro-energy agenda to drive down costs and restore energy independence. But here's the truth, guys. Right now, businesses are waiting. They want to invest. They need certainty. They want to know that President Trump's plan's not temporary, that the tax cuts are going to stick around, the tariffs will be stable, and the regulatory rollback is real. And so once that happens, that's when you start to see the second wave of the Trump boom. But let's not forget, guys, this isn't just about dollars and cents. Why President Trump's entire economic strategy is also about national security, geopolitical leverage, and rebounding and rebuilding American strength at every level. So here's the part mainstream media refuses to talk about for whatever reason. President Trump's tariff strategy is not just about economics. It's about national survival. It's really about national security too. For decades, we've outsourced our strength. We've outsourced our jobs, our energy, even our sovereignty to countries that openly oppose us. Trump's bringing it all back. Bring it all in, right? And so now we're starting to see the big picture. We're starting to see it, right? Tariffs are not just revenue. Tariffs are control over who gets access to our market, control over where our supply chains go, and who gets to profit from America's prosperity. And so here's where it comes full circle, okay? Everything Kash Patel is exposing inside the FBI, all the lies, the cover-ups, the corruption, the buried J6 evidence, the Epstein files, the Crossfire hurricane, the rigged elections, this was all designed to weaken America from within. But now that plan is collapsing because at the same time the deep state is being exposed, Trump is reasserting control on the inside and on the outside through economic power, global leverage, and strategic leadership. This is not just a comeback. This is clearly a reversal of global power. And like Kash Patel said, it's not by accident. It's happening now, and it's only the beginning. So if you're tired of getting lied to, if you're tired of watching this country get sold out to the highest bidder, then this is your moment to stay locked in, guys. Please hit the like button. Share this video before it disappears. You know how that tends to happen. And make sure you're subscribed if you're ready for the next wave of truth, guys, because believe me, the drops coming next week, they're going to be bigger. They're going to get bigger, and they're going to keep getting. In fact, I think that not only are they going to be bigger, but I think the speed that the drops are going to come out faster. Because make no mistake, America's waking up. The deep state is basically getting exposed, and the world, it's learning what Liberation Day really means. Also, don't forget to hit the link in the description down below. Reach out to our friends over at Chapter right now. See how much money they can save you, your mom, your grandma, your grandfather on Medicare. It's totally free, and it could be one of the most valuable phone calls you make this week. Anyway, it's your friend Ron here, signing off.